After decades of extensive research on the nature of reality, I have concluded that we exist in a fractal holographic universe, a concept that reaffirms our reality rather than negating it. This modern concept reflects the wisdom of ancient civilizations by providing a scientific way to explain how things are created in our world and the basic code that governs it. The Mandelbrot set is an intriguing pattern that exists within the vast two-dimensional area called the complex plane. The Mandelbrot set emerges when a specific... All right, Billy Carson here, aka Forbidden Knowledge, and I'm here with my very special guest, Danny Henderson. What's going on, Danny?
Hi, Billy Carson. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. Really,
yes, it's great to have you back. Great to have you back. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you. It's makeup and bronzing powder, darling. Good lighting.
Well, listen, I can't wait to see you in about a week. I'll be coming up to North Carolina, and I'll be coming to your event, which is going to be an amazing event. The galacticspiritualinformers.com is the website. Make sure you guys go to that website, galacticspiritualinformers.com, and register for this event coming up. And we're going to talk about this event today because disclosure is coming at the GSIC. And I want to talk about that today, but also first, I want to talk to you specifically and introduce you to my leaders. I call them leaders, not followers, as to like what you're all about, who you are, and how you got involved in this information.
Hi there. So hello to all your lovely leaders. So I'm Danny Henderson, and I say that I was basically born awake. And what that means is I was born seeing things that people say they can't see. So there's an element to me that is very clairvoyant. So when I look at someone, I can see through them, I can see around them, I can see the different layers to them. I can see if beloveds are with them. I can see if they've got real angels or imaginative ones. I can see if they attract negative energy. Now that's largely, Billy, I don't go around, it's too exhausting going around like staring at people like this. But the thing to say is this: every single human on this planet has the same abilities. We're just told that we don't have them, or we're told that they are negative, and they're not. There are metaphysical, beautiful, natural skills. There are some amazing humans. We are the most incredible beings, you know, in the universe. You know, other ET races that of course exist are amazed by us and our very strong genetic codes and the things that we're able to do. And so from my very first memory is being placed in my crib as a baby, back into my crib. And the first thing I remember is sitting backwards and my back touching the wooden bars in my crib, or my cot, as we call them. And then sitting there as this beautiful, beautiful being with this huge face and these big indigo eyes and this light brown skin, was smiling and beaming and emitting just love. And he put me back in my crib, and then he kind of glided backwards and was standing where the curtains are. And I remember, like it happened 5 minutes ago, Billy, that's how profound. That's when you know it's a real memory, you know. Yeah. And so I'm looking at him, and then all of a sudden the bedroom door opens and my mother walks in. Now I'm in their bedroom. I'm so young. I'm months old. And my mum goes, I remember her saying, oh, she's awake. So my dad picks me up, puts me on her hip, and takes me downstairs to the garden, and it's night time. And I remember as a baby being so frustrated. I remember looking up, seeing the stars, seeing the moon, and just not wanting to be with my mum or these people, but wanting to be with him, And wow. His name is Annex, and he's an ET that we call an Eggaroth. And to find his actual physical location, if you look at Orion's belt and you look at the middle star, that is where Annex is from. And he's a very beautiful 6 density being. And then I forget, because we forget as children, and we grow up into adults, and things happen, and then often our memories start coming back. And recently, I had the beautiful privilege of reconnecting with Annex. And that was all around the same time when I was being guided to do my conference of full disclosure. So hopefully that answers your question somewhat.
No, yeah, no, that's an amazing story. You know, after the experience that I had in 2010, you know, it's such a life-changing experience, these encounters, that from that point forward, for me to listen to other people's stories, for me, it just gives me more confirmation that I'm not crazy, you know, that something did happen, something that was amazing, astounding, that really altered the course of my life forever. And it always makes me question as to why me, like, why did I have this experience? And, you know, I mean, obviously it's put me on the course, or it solidified the course that I'm on now, into ancient civilizations, and then getting into astroanthropology and archaeoastronomy, which I had talked about for like the last 10 years. And matter of fact, I was in a documentary talking about this and mentioning that these were going to be the sciences of the future, you know, and here we are, it's happened. So your point, I mean, what's happened to you is just an amazing experience. And it's put you on a track, on a path. And now you have this conference. Can we talk a little bit about, like, what can we expect? What kind of disclosure can we expect at this conference in North Carolina next week?
Well, one of the first things that I will say to the beautiful leaders watching this is that we, at every single GISIC, it's what we call it for short, Galactic Spiritual Informers Connection, at every single event that I do, we bring in physical spacecraft, spaceships. So you tell me out there, who at any conference or any gathering can say, at this day, at this time, at this location, you're going to see, when you look up directly over us, not way off in the distance, not thousands and thousands of miles up, but high enough so we can see them, real spacecraft, because we know who's flying them. We know where they're from. They're from the Galactic Federation of Worlds, which is a military faction of benevolent ETs who are not putting up with the nonsense that people are trying to affect on our planet. They're not going to let the water, the air, and the food continue to be poisoned by the Muppets that have been running everything. And they're working hand in hand with the White Hats or the Earth Alliance. And we prove it at every single event. So we'll definitely be seeing on the 19th of September in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the Le Méridien Hotel, a fleet of spacecraft. That's just one thing. Then we have like Tony Rodriguez is one of our speakers. He was kidnapped by the American military at 10 years old and put into a child torture program. So basically what I do is I expose and whistleblow on every single crime against humanity, uncensored. We don't hold back. So we're reporting also with Cathy O'Brien. Cathy O'Brien was trafficked through the White House and through the Pentagon as a little girl. She was used as a sex slave. They called her a presidential model because they groomed her sexually. She was sold by her dad, who was a pedophile. They caught him because he was making snuff films and sex films with his own children. It's very sick and very dark. But these are the leaders on our planet, Billy. I know you know this. I know it's shocking to everyone because everybody wants to think, oh, my president would never do that. Well, sorry to burst your bubbles, lovelies, but, you know, these people need to be held accountable and removed from their positions. That we call them the self-anointed, self-appointed. So Cathy O'Brien will be naming the names of the people who some are still in leadership roles today. We also have Max Lowen, who was a high satanic child from a high satanic bloodline, and she was trafficked underneath the Vatican. She's also going to be reporting on that. I know it's horrific. And the thing is, you know, we have to tell the truth. We have to say, right, guys, pull your big girl and big boy pants up. It's go time. It's full disclosure time. And we don't listen to the government, the military. We go forth with our evidence. And if, as you know, Billy, because you're a researcher for so many years, you've got to bring evidence. You cannot stand on stage and waffle off a story and name names and be in trouble for that. You have to bring your evidence and bring your proof. And that is what we do, physical evidence. And there are so many other people speaking who are bringing equally profound disclosure, whistleblowing events. And that's just the speakers, like I say, never mind the actual spacecraft that we're bringing in.
Yeah, this is going to be incredible. I am so excited to come there and speak.
Yes.
You know, I'll be speaking about what my most recent book, really, The Fractal Holographic Universe, Simulation Theory. And so I'll be going in on that, and I'll be really tapping into the fractal holography of this matrix, what this matrix is, what it's made of, how it was created based on pulling together dozens of scientific papers, I'll be going deep into the science, the quantum physics, the metaphysics, the supersymmetry, the philosophy, the spirituality, and combining all that together in a very dynamic presentation that I think people that I know people are going to get a lot out of. It's going to wake them up to a true reality of not only do we exist in this third dimension, but we're also multidimensional beings. But not only us, there are higher dimensional beings that exist. And some of these quote unquote ETs, in my opinion, could be higher dimensional beings that have found a way to phase shift their subatomic frequency to match our third dimension, and then, create a little visit. And some of the paranormal activity that we have detected, apparitions and so forth, my personal opinion is some of those could be higher dimensional beings engaging us from higher dimensions into the third dimension, creating these, these paranormal activities and some of these apparitions and these weird energy fields that seem to pop up from time to time that seem to interact with solid matter. So we'll talk about that. And of course, third dimensional beings. But my talk is going to be very extensive, very dynamic. I'm looking forward to this because I haven't done a lecture on this topic in public since 2018, actually. And there's a lot of new science that has come out. And a lot of that new science made it into my book, Fractal Holographic Universe. And so I'll be there with some books. I'll be doing a book signing. I'll be doing a book signing at the event, meet and greet. I'm pretty sure I'll be shaking hands, giving hugs and kissing babies all weekend long. So, the last time I went out to one of these things, I think I took 1,200 photos and signed 1,200 books. So it was a long day, but it's fun. It's fun to get out there and meet the people.
Yeah, it's so important. It's so important because as we put ourselves, or we eventually become in these positions of leadership or authority or experts in our field, we can never, ever, I feel, detach from humanity. Why are we doing what we're doing? Surely we're doing it not for fame, not for glory, not for fortune. I'm certainly not doing it for those reasons. I'm doing it because I love humanity. I love my brothers and my sisters. And if I know something they don't, I'm going to tell it. I'm going to stand on that stage and I'm going to yell it and I'm going to shove it and I'm going to say it, because we have a duty, like I say, but bring in proof, bring in physical evidence because it's so important. And this is the time. This is full disclosure time. This is full rebellious, on fire disclosure. We've been gagged for so long. And there are so many people, like I say, people are, innately brilliant. We are innately brilliant as a species. We've just been dumbed down so much and we've come across the wrong people who've told us. And, we've kind of become negative in our self-talk, our inner dialogue. And again, I'm here to burst that away and go, no, you are a beautiful soul. You're a fractal soul. You're a fractal of God or the creator spark. And you're here and everyone's voice matters. Every single being matters, and that's so important to tell people. The information that we bring is just so life altering in a good way. Of course, it's not always the nicest thing to hear that the governments are corrupt, there's military personnel. I mean, just take that as a long-term practice, for many generations. But the current militaries globally, there are literally personnel there, long bloodlines. They are witches and warlocks, male and female witches. And to some people, they'll be like, there's no way. I'm sorry again, but there is a way, and it is happening, and it has happened. Every single system on this planet, every single structure, whether it's education, music, science, religion, whatever you can think of, music, has been infiltrated on purpose and is dominated and managed. Like music alone, the demonic structures that literally spiritualize in a negative way music that's going out to influence the masses. And there are certain witches, high-level witches that perform as great singers on our planet, that go out and they're performing to hundreds of thousands of young girls and young boys, and they're influencing them on a negative level. And these are some of the areas that we cover. And that's the negative side of life. Yet life is so beautiful when we remove these kind of structures and these cages and these negative influences. But first we have to acknowledge them, and acknowledging them is a start of change within a person. And there's so much more to say, and so much more to say on the speakers who are coming. It's just amazing. Speaking.
It's amazing. You have a great, incredible group of speakers. You have a former, is it a former Air Force veteran?
Which one? We've got Emery Smith, who's also former Air Force, and we also have, and he was a major Gaia TV. I think he has a following of like 90 million. Emery Smith. Many people know who he is. He's going to be sharing when he did an actual autopsy on an ET. He's the only speaker that's actually speaking on live stream, like on Zoom. We couldn't get him physically. He's the only one. And then we also have JP. JP is currently working on missions with the American military. He's been wearing a helmet, or more recently a mask, because when he's on missions, there are other men that, you know, will recognize him. And these are incognito missions. They're special forces missions. And he has been given permission over the last 2 years to give information such as the American military reverse engineered anti-gravity craft, and they can get to the moon in 10 minutes.
I believe it. I believe it. After some of the things I've learned and seen over the years. Oh, man.
Yeah.
In 2018, I went to the Space Symposium in Colorado. I had TS clearance, top secret clearance in the private space area. And of course, I can't disclose a lot about what went on in there, but I'm sitting there with some of the top heads in tech and aerospace in the world, in the private space field. Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, SpaceX, you name it. All of them were in the house. What I can tell you is, whatever you can think of has already been created. Whatever you can dream of has already been not only experimented on, but pretty much accomplished, if not in real world application, at least in a laboratory setting. Getting to the, if somebody tells you they can get to the moon in 10 seconds or 10 minutes, you better believe it, because all I can tell you, they're 300 years ahead of us. Forget 50 years. They are 300 years ahead of the general population right now.
Yeah. And it's such an insult. Like I always say, oh, be quiet, NASA, sit down. No one's listening to you, because they had one job. NASA had one job, and that was report on spacefaring, you know, information, and they failed, absolute failures. You know, how dare anyone decide that humanity is not ready? Who made them God? I'm not accepting that nonsense. So because we know what we know, and we have the people who've seen these things and experienced these things, then we're taking matters into our own hands and forging forward. This is my 5th event, and it's absolutely the best event. I say it's the greatest disclosure event on earth, because we cover every subject and we bring the proof. And again, there's nothing more beautiful than actually being able to say, this day, this time, you know, 19th of September at 9 o'clock at night, look up over the Le Méridien Hotel and you're going to see a fleet of craft. And the military always bring a craft in. So in May the 10th, just gone, a few weeks ago, we had over 2,000 people, Billy, standing on a hill where I told them to go, looking over the sea. And we saw a fleet. We saw cigar ships, scout ships, plasma ships, unbelievable amount of spacecraft, and this incredible TR-9. And it's so interesting because the Navy deny, and that's the Navy that builds a spacecraft too. That's just amazing. I guess they build waterships and airships. Spaceships. So they've got their TR-3B, the triangular craft, which flew over us 27th of September last year, Denver, Colorado. Then on May 10th, 2025, an upgrade, a TR-9 flew over us, and everybody saw it, over 2,000 people. And I thought, gosh, how am I going to find out where that craft came from? Because obviously people look up and they go, it's a spacecraft. Like, no, my love, that's a military craft. Because some of the craft we see, we confuse. We don't know the difference because we haven't had the education yet, but that's what you get at EduSig too. So anyway, so it's just so remarkable how we get information. So anyway, a friend of mine said, Danny, I've got some intel for you. Someone's come to me and given me the name of the RAF base, Royal Air Force, RAF. In Britain, that's what we call them, RAF bases, Royal Air Force. And so I said, okay, I want to meet this person with this evidence. So I met this lovely girl who happens to know somebody in a senior position at the military base where the craft came out of on May the 10th, 2025. And it came out of an RAF base called Lakenheath. Now, when I researched that Air Force base, It turns out they host American military too in England, American and UK based personnel. Now, they wanted to make sure they know about my conference. They obviously knew they were flying over my conference and over all of the people. And they wanted to make sure that I would have that information. And so I've shared it on my channel and obviously sharing it on your channel. And again, it proves that the American military, the UK military are working with the Galactic Federation of Worlds, not the Galactic Federation of Light. That's a CIA psyop that's designed to make us move on to another path. And that was also a grey influence agenda. The grey ETs, the negative ones who were abducting and doing horrific, terrible things per an agreement with the Dwight Eisenhower administration in America, and the reptilians who were working with the Germans at the end of World War II. Anyway, those two things were well known. They're known across every government and every military on every single country on our beautiful planet. But now the negative ETs and the negative greys have been removed. And one of the reasons why we're seeing the old guard fall and all of the systems coming down and people at the top being held accountable more and more is because the satanic occult that sits atop the whole planet, which is the major leaders who worship Satan, they were plugging in to the greys and the reptilian forces. Well, now those two have gone. They've got nothing to plug into. So they're all turning on each other, telling each other secrets, harming each other's bloodlines. There's a real snobbery in how precious they feel their bloodlines are. And it's all imploding. And we're seeing it come down. So that is another reason why the people, the beautiful humans on our planet, the good people, are now seeing and witnessing more. They're awakening in themselves. They're witnessing more. They're becoming more aware of their metaphysical abilities. I mean, it's just incredible.
Oh, it's amazing. And, the TR3Bs, I've been on many TV shows talking about these TR3Bs, and now they have the TR39s. Let me give the viewers a quick look at, if you see one of these in the sky, you're looking at a TR3B, most likely triangular shaped craft, flies completely silent. It utilizes a rotator ring in the center. That rotator ring in the center is nuclear powered, but also a combination of ferrofluid vortex engine, utilizing a mercury engine that has mercury in the actual cylinder that spins up to about 60, 70,000 RPM. And then it's inside of a rotating torus field, and that torus field is electrified. Once you electrify the torus field, you will get, once you get the rotation of the RPM up to about 60, 70,000, then you pressurize the torus. Once you pressurize the torus to about 250,000 atmospheres and then electrify it, you get anti-gravity properties. The nuclear generator in there is for thrusting capabilities, for directional control. It's a fly-by-wire technology. Now they've most likely incorporated AI into the TR39. But this technology is amazing aerospace technology that will present itself as alien, but you're right, it is ours. We made these ourselves. To me, they are ARVs, alien reproduction vehicles, by borrowing from some of the crashed craft and reverse engineered technologies and adding what we know about aerospace to it to create these these flying triangles, which can move at incredible speeds and bank at incredible angles without killing the actual pilot. So in some way, they must be creating, the torus field must be creating a bubble, an anti-gravity bubble, allowing them to withstand these G-forces. So it's incredible technology. And I had Michael Schratt on my podcast, the aerospace historian, who has had the privilege of seeing one of these with his own eyes. And he talked about these years and years ago, but he did a full presentation on this podcast about maybe 7 months ago or so. Incredible technology, just incredible. So I'm looking forward to being there to just, see this fleet that you guys are going to call in, because I know that I went to Giant Rock a few years ago, and I would take 2 years in a row, I took people out to Giant Rock with me to do a UFO hunt, and we were not disappointed. So I know when these things show up and you can see them, we recorded them. Some of the recordings I took at Mount Shasta years ago actually made it onto the History Channel show. Those recordings made it onto History Channel. They were on Ancient Aliens, in an episode of Ancient Aliens that I was in. So just incredible stuff. I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait. I already know it's going to be mind-boggling. And then you have a woman coming to this event that I interviewed on this podcast. That was just maybe a few months ago. I know we have to do a part 2 with her because she had an incredible story. Elena Danaan, right?
Elena Danaan is the most powerful disclosure expert on ET races and anybody else on the planet. And NASA is terrified of her. Aerospace Corporation are terrified of her. They follow every single thing she does. She's 100 steps ahead of them all because she's in actual physical contact. And it's her that calls in the spacecraft. It's her that brings the information on the ET races. It's her that spends hours and hours writing the books, putting the history of this planet in its proper place because she's having physical interactions. The funny thing about her, I can't get that girl on a swing, right? I could never get her on a roller coaster, but she's having physical excursions on spacecraft. And I say to her, I can't even get you on a swing, Elena. Like, what's the deal? She says, when she's in certain craft, there's no movement inside. Now, we cannot have an understanding of how the technology works in the way that she explains it unless we've actually had those experiences. There's no G-force. There's no, there's nothing. It's completely smooth. And a lot of these ships and craft that she is entering into with her ET personnel, some of which I know too. And this is another reason why I do what I do. If I can't prove, even to myself, number one, that this is real and not fantasy and not nonsense. You get some religious people who go, oh, it's a demon. No, love, it's not a bloody demon. Okay, there's a difference. I'm gonna plug my book now because I'm just making a really important point. Yeah. Angels, demons, and aliens are the 3 physical species that I've had contact with since that first baby story I told you about my entire life. And these entities, these beings, are very different. They are not the same thing. But a demon will mimic an angel, and I've seen this, and a demon will mimic an alien because the demons are the lowest form, the lowest vibration, but also are able to shapeshift, and they're at lower density than a real beautiful angel, an angelic presence, which is a super consciousness, or a good benevolent ET. But the demonics are very real, and they are looking for host bodies. So people have to be careful what they're doing in their recreational times. You know what I mean? They have to try and keep this vessel clean and clear as we're all in this ascension time. We're ascending. The planet is ascending. It's like she's up leveling. So it's like all the software that we've got, that's up leveling too. And it is our time to heal everything, every trauma, our childhoods, and there's so many easy ways to do that too. But it is a magnificent time indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're looking at this, if you're watching us on X, the link is in my bio. If you're watching on Instagram, the link is in my bio on this account. So if you want to attend this event, the link is in my bio on Instagram, on X, on Twitch. It's in my bio as well. If you're watching on Twitch, Facebook, the link is in the post of this actual video. YouTube, of course, it's in the live chat. It's in the comments. It's in the caption. If you're listening to this in audio, the link is in the caption as well. So right now we're global. We are utilizing technique. We're utilizing technology in the way that they didn't anticipate us to use it. We're spreading knowledge, wisdom, information, and coordinating and collaborating with people all over the world simultaneously. So we have tapped into the omniscience and omnipotent divine order by utilizing this technology to give ourselves a wide array of broadcast capabilities so that people can see us and hear us everywhere on the entire planet. Absolutely. So make sure y'all click that link and make sure you come register for this event. I want to see y'all there next weekend. I'll be in North Carolina hanging out, meet and greets, signing autographs and books, and taking photos, and I'll be speaking and lecturing, and you don't want to miss that lecture. I'll be talking about the fractal holographic matrix. I'll be exposing the secret codes of the matrix itself, and all of my years of research and investigation into this topic are going to culminate here in North Carolina, and I'm looking forward to getting a chance to go outside and witness, which I've done before, witness these UFOs. I don't like calling them UAPs because that's the name that they use to take over the narrative. They're UFO.
Yeah, no, they can stuff it. And anyone that says UAP, I'm like, they're not connected. They probably never had an experience in their lives. That is another government psyop. It is to take you down a different path. We always called them growing up UFOs, unidentified flying objects. What we bring over the people, what we bring down low over my conferences are identified spacecraft, ISCs, identified spacecraft, and we're not buying in and letting the government. And why do they always throw out an event that with a UFO that happened 30 years ago? Yawn. May 10th, 2025, over my last conference, 27th September. Like, how many more videos do people need to see? Of course, we've got that one there. Don't know if you want to play that. Yeah, just to give people a rundown of who's there and some of the craft that actually came over.
Yeah, let's do that right now. Hold on.
Spiritual Informers Connection, GISIC, is the greatest disclosure event on Earth. We bring physical evidence to be able to prove that disclosure is happening, and we are leading the way. The speakers at Charlotte this year are phenomenal. Elena Danaan, Billy Carson, Kathy O'Brien, Tony Rodrigues, JP, Praveen Mohan, Nikki Allen, Danyan Brinkley, Danny Henderson.
A lot of conferences have skywatches. The GISIC ones just have spaceships show up.
We asked the Galactic Federation of Worlds to send craft. We told people the time, the day, and the place. The skywatch in Eastbourne was incredible. There was over 2,000 people, eyewitnesses, standing, watching, and so many different craft came in. There were cigar-shaped, there were plasma ships, there were scout ships. There were anomalies in the sky that nobody could explain.
Oh, the audience was lovely, and they always were like, always close to you, hugging, a lot of hugs.
It's just the magic of being with like-minded souls and seeing the proof of what we're all talking about, being in the collective of the leaders of disclosure and the leaders of the knowledge of what's happening with the planet.
Every GISIC, Danny Henderson says to me, I think this year we passed another level. And we did, and every GISIC is going to be more amazing, more extraordinary.
Come to one of these, it will change your life.
All right. Beautiful video. I like it. I like it. Great. Great work.
Yeah. It just covers everything. And again, the last two events, you saw the green elements of spacecraft coming over. That was shot with night vision footage. And that was our event in Westminster, Colorado, just, well, last September, so a year ago. So, yeah, so it's interesting when you say that we're on X. Right now, I wouldn't possibly imagine that Elon Musk is watching. But if I saw him, I'd put him across my knee and smack his bottom really hard. Because when he's wearing T-shirts that say Occupy Mars, I'm like, oi, mate, you must know that Mars is occupied. There are military personnel on Mars. The Mars base up there is called Ares Prime. And I can get on stage two people who've been there, who go there. It's like we know who we are. The whistleblowers are whistleblowing right now. We just need to make sure that everyone is hearing us and they get the proof they deserve, because nobody should just believe anything they're told. We've been programmed to do that, obviously, our whole lives. But we need to question and find out who's real and who is who in the zoo. you know, at this time of disclosure. It's very easy to discern, and every speaker at JISC is verified and have to prove themselves, you know, over and over again. I'm so strict because, you know, humanity deserves that. It deserves the best. It deserves the proof. Yeah, and that's what I'm here for.
Absolutely. And you hit a spot on Mars, because I just talked about Mars yesterday. I did a live podcast last night on this YouTube account, talking about the fact that I had been telling people that in 2025, they will finally admit that there is life on Mars. And I've been saying this since 2011. I've done it every single year. I've been on dozens, Joe Rogan, PBD podcast, Sean Ryan show, Sean Kelly. I mean, so many podcasts, Concrete podcasts, you just name it. And in all of them, I say in 2025, they will disclose life on Mars. And it just came out 2 days ago. Major mainstream news. Unfortunately, the assassination of that political activist happened at the same time. So I had to bring the news to the people through YouTube so they can see the original news clip that just came out, literally just came out 2 days ago, 48 hours ago. Major announcement. They discovered life on Mars in the form of course, microorganisms and bacteria. Just as I said, right. It's the step-by-step process. So now, as I said, in those is first the microorganisms, and then eventually it'll be more complex organisms, and who knows how many years in between. But eventually, you can't help but admit that there's complex life there now, and has always been complex life on Mars.
Tony Rodriguez, who's speaking, will say that he was put on a mission on Mars and he was used as a bait soldier with other soldiers, because there are beings, there are obviously indigenous beings there. And they would send these poor American soldiers out, not caring whether they came back or not, you know, because these people were already enslaved. And it's interesting because there's so much talk about the secret space programs. And there are a lot of people that put themselves out, Billy, out on the YouTube, etc., and out in front, and they claim they have all these experiences. Some of them do, and some of them don't. Some of them have been MK Ultras. Some of them have screen memories. There's so much. It's so complex. But when you have someone like Tony Rodriguez or JP talking about things from different planets and bringing back, and then other personnel, and it matches up. And then Tony would say there was a project called Project Grill Flame. When he was able to locate that, it was in government documents, again, bringing the information. But Mars is inhabited, and there's American military base up there, Ares Prime, other global militaries there. It's just so insulting that they say, oh, there's microbial life on Mars. Oh, that's amazing. You know, it's just so rude. It's like, guys, get over yourselves. Like, step down, everybody. You know, all the idiots that put themselves at the top. It's like so boring. Move along there. No one's listening to you. You know, I'm Danny Henderson. I'm bringing the proof. Okay, this is what I'm doing. So it's time.
I love it. I love it. It's amazing. It's exciting. It ties into everything that I've been talking about and teaching for decades, literally decades. And I'm really excited to be a part of this event, because I know that we're going to bring the knowledge, the wisdom. People are going to get to see things they've never seen before, hear things that they've never heard before. And you know, it's going to be eye-opening for a lot of people, as it should be.
Absolutely. Completely eye-opening. And like you say, as it should be. Everyone deserves. You know, and there's so many conferences out there, but you've tried the rest, come to the best. Galactic Informers, 19th to 21st of September, 2025. Coming
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I was trying to find this military vehicle that I post from time to time on Mars. I was just looking for it here in my old files. I had it up last night, so I don't know why I can't find it that quickly now, but I still am adjusting to utilizing this Mac. You know, I'm a left-handed Virgo, so I'm my brain works on, you know, different operating systems better than this. That's why I use Android phones and everything else. But I was trying to find it because it really is an amazing, eye-opening piece of evidence, and source links are always provided, that there's a lot going on right above our heads. And, you know, they have us wanting to look at exoplanet 20 million light years away, orbiting a star. It potentially has all the particles needed for life and all this crazy stuff. And there's people living right above our heads.
So embarrassing. It's like Jupiter is inhabited, of course it is. Then people go, oh, it's a gaseous planet. Well, actually, how do you know? We can only go by what we're told. We can only go by what, oh, let's measure, let's measure time, that light years, how many light years it's going to take. Again, we're only going by the education that we've been given. That's all we have to go on. It's an insult. I was going to give 10 years of my life to studying astrophysics, okay? Because I worked for years in the space industry, in satellite manufacture. And when you've dived deeply into that, I was recruiting the greatest minds on our planet through my agency, the greatest minds to work in the space industry and manufacturing across the board, and British Aerospace and all of that. That was me. And I realized in the 90s that everyone is being lied to, that we've had technology on this planet beyond our wildest dreams, and it's held from us. When I see a plane in the sky, I see an American school bus. It's so rude how slow the peasants have to travel when we have massive propulsion technology available, and how we have the maglev trains, the magnetic levitation trains. And I saw Japan have just released one now, a maglev train. Working on magnets that literally floats above the rail, going at 300 miles an hour. I'm like, oh my God, thank God, at least that's come out, because there are tunnels under the earth, underground. You can get from one side of America, from LA to New York in a matter of minutes. But again, the people aren't told about it. This is just for the elite classes, but all their secrets are coming out. And people say the insult, oh, that you're not ready. The people are going to go mad when they realize how much we've all been lied to.
Absolutely. You're right. This image here is the very last image taken by Spirit Rover. As Spirit Rover took this image, and it's a much more expansive image, and I provide the source links within my groups to this data from Caltech and JPL. There's even more in the image, but this is the last image taken by Spirit Rover before it had a malfunction and shut down. It never came back on after this image. The very last image taken by Spirit Rover on Mars. And you can clearly see it doesn't look exactly like a rock. It looks more military. This is one hell of a military type rock, if you want to call it that. And so to add to credence to what you were talking about earlier about the military being on Mars, it's one already there. It's already there.
Exactly. And then there's the moon base. There's a base on the moon. It's in the shape of the Pentagon, an octagonal shape. Many people have been there too. Oh, on the dark side of the moon. It's again an insult to us, to humanity, when it's already inhabited, and we have proof, and we have footage, and we have personnel who've been there and who go there. And that the moon of Jupiter, one of Jupiter's moons, is called Ganymede. Now, if you look at the movie Men in Black, it gives you a good idea when Will Smith is moving through the gigantic spaceport, and there's every kind of imagined and unimagined extraterrestrial walking around or flying around, or there is an actual spaceport on the moon of Ganymede. And I know two people who've been there, JP with the American military, and Elena Danaan, who is obviously speaking at our event, as she always does, and she's the one that brings the craft. And I think Elena Danaan is one of the most important people on the entire planet right now. So, of course, she's horribly attacked and horribly abused, but she stands strong and she's bringing her evidence, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Incredible. I love it. They bring the receipts. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just put the banner up again, galacticspiritualinformers.com. Make sure y'all go register. I'll be there to see you and meet you and greet you in person in North Carolina. I believe I get in on the 18th in the afternoon, and I'll be hanging out with you, Danny. And then I've got, the weekend here. We're going to be doing a lot of meeting and greeting. I'll be teaching, lecturing, signing books, taking photos, the whole works. I can't wait to get back with my good friend, Praveen Mohan, who will be there as well, ancient civilizations historian.
Yeah. Oh my God, that work he's done improving the mechanics of these monolithic, ancient, thousands of year old Hindu temples, and that their columns move, and they are light, sound, and healing frequencies. The ancient technology that existed before. Now you look at us kind of bimbling along. Oh, there's microbial life on Mars. It's like, oh my God.
We're so far behind. It's just crazy. Like we think that we're this highly technologically and highly high IQ civilization. We're the new kids on the block, and we're like kids that keep pooping in their diaper. We haven't even gotten close to what happened in the ancient past. We haven't even touched the surface yet. We're just crawling around on our bellies, trying to figure out how to get up on our knees and eventually maybe try to get up and walk. But there's so much more that has happened in the ancient past. This life that we're living here right now on the planet in this current era is the most boring time to be alive. The majority of people, you wake up, you eat breakfast, you go to work, you come home, you eat again, you play with the kids if you have any for an hour or less. Some people don't even do that. You watch a little bit of TV and you kiss the wife or the husband or the girlfriend or the boyfriend, or maybe you're alone and you lay down and go back to sleep and do it all over again. In the ancient past, there was so much more going on. It was like Star Trek or Star Wars or some of these sci-fi movies that we've seen, Jupiter Ascending and so forth. The reality of what's really going on has been shielded and hidden from us to give us this mundane version of reality that, in my opinion, is the most boring version of reality that exists probably in the known universe.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Can you imagine being born on a planet that you have to pay for natural resources, you have to pay for shelter, for food, for water, because that was a designed plan? How dare they take away our natural rights? How dare they cover up our multidimensional, metaphysical, natural gifts? And we are taking it back, and we are standing strong, and we are all unifying together in love, in taking back our planet. This is my planet. This is your planet. This is our planet. Yeah. And that's what time it is.
For sure. Facts. Everyone, I dropped the link in the live chat again. It's in the caption of this video, audio. It's also in the link in my bio, no matter where you're watching. Make sure y'all get registered. Come on out to this event. It's going to be amazing. GalacticSpiritualInformers.com. I'm looking forward to seeing you in just a few more days.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. And they're staying at the Le Méridien Hotel. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the event is held in the Le Méridien, and in the same building is the Sheraton Tower. And so when you get your ticket through our website, you get sent a link that will take you to the discounted rooms on the Sheraton Tower side. And then you get half price car parking and other great discounts there. So you got to go to our website to get your tickets, and then you get given instructions from there on. We're going to have a special sharing session. The audience is going to have an opportunity to share their stories, because people, they want to be heard. They need to share their stories, because so many of us have had these incredible experiences. And can you imagine going to a conference where you can just purely be yourself? You don't have to worry about talking about your ET experiences or your paranormal experiences, because we know it's true. We know it's real. People they fall in love at my conferences. They meet, soul tribes connect together. People are traveling from around the world. The whole global audience is at these events. It's amazing. And it just builds a sense of connection and community and love. And people just are so black sheep of the family. They're connecting with other black sheep, whatever that means. These are the clever ones. These are the smart ones. These are the bombastic ones who came here to make a difference on this planet. Yeah, that's who you'll find at a Galactic Spiritual Informers Conference.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Again, everyone, the website's right here. It's been pasted up here. This banner's up here. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in just a few days. And we'll go live again on Instagram or something separate from here. But we're live everywhere right now. We're simulcasting.
Love it. Hello, world. Hello, world. I know you haven't heard about us, many of you, Galactic Spiritual Informers, but this is your opportunity now to know where it's at. And full disclosure is happening at our event.
Absolutely. All right. See you soon. Make sure y'all register for this event, because I'm telling you, it's going to be mind-blowing. I can't wait to be there. I can't wait to experience this myself. I already know what to expect, because I have gone on a UFO hunt before. If you've never seen a UFO and you've been saying, I've never been able to see a UFO, I want to see a UFO, this could be your time. This could be your chance to actually get a chance to see a UFO. I know it sounds weird that they can show up on point just like that, but I'm telling you, I've been a part of this, and it happens. And when you see this with your own eyes, it's just amazing. There's no video clip that can justify it. There's no TV show that can show it. That, until you're there and you're seeing it in person with your own eyes, it just makes all the difference. So again, if you can come on out, that would be great. This is going to be a great event to see live and in person. And I'm looking forward to being there. So I'll see you very soon, Danny.
You too, Billy Carson. Thank you. Much
no
love.
Problem. All right, cool. Love you too. I'll see you in a few days.
The Galactic Spiritual Informers Connection, GISIC, is the greatest disclosure event on Earth. We bring physical evidence to be able to prove that disclosure is happening, and we are leading the way. The speakers at Charlotte this year are phenomenal. Elena Danaan, Billy Carson, Kathy O'Brien, Tony Rodrigues, JP, Praveen Mohan, Nikki Allen, Danyan Brinkley, Danny Henderson.
A lot of conferences have Skywatches. The GSIG ones just have spaceships show up.
We asked the Galactic Federation of Worlds to send craft. We told people the time, the day, and the place. The Skywatch in Eastbourne was incredible. There was over 2,000 people, eyewitnesses, standing, watching, and so many different craft came in. There were cigar-shaped, there were plasma ships, there were scout ships. There were anomalies in the sky that nobody could explain.
Oh, the audience was lovely, and they always were like, always close to you, hugging, a lot of hugs.
It's just the magic of being with like-minded souls and seeing the proof of what we're all talking about, being in the collective of the leaders of disclosure and the leaders of the knowledge of what's happening with the planet.
Every GSIC, Danny Henderson says to me, I think this year we passed another level. And we did, and every GSIC is going to be more amazing, more extraordinary.
Come to one of these, it will change your life.
We all have one question. Who are the Anunnaki?
The Anunnaki is arguably one of the greatest mysteries of our ancient history and our past.
We have to ask, who were the gods? The gods were extraterrestrials.
Join me in this grand odyssey and discovery as we seek to uncover the hidden truths of the Anunnaki.
By studying the Anunnaki, we truly unlock the secrets within ourselves at the same time.
We are the offspring of extraterrestrials, and that's not coincidence.
This is the saga of the Anunnaki and their ancient secrets revealed.